Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Don't be hanging up on me, guys.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm calling because I have some Corey Hart tickets I want to sell at Rockin Skull 2017.
All right. Was that Boy in the Box era Corey Hart?
No, I'm just a bad promoter calling in because is it at 10 o'clock?
Well, it's Justin Murr. What's going on, Justin?
I thought at 9:55 I'd call. It's bad promoter day.
The show's already started. Is that what you're saying?
The show's already started. The bands have not been paid, and they're all here, sir.
Are you driving or something?
I am. Is it a pain in the ass or something?
Well,
I'm driving through your area.
Oh, it sounds like you got the window open or something.
No, I'm just bad. I'm wheezing.
Well, where are you exactly?
I'm in the Pennsylvania Turnpike, I think, somewhere over here somehow.
All right. Well, Justin, obviously you've got another one of the Rockin Skull Fest coming up here in the fall, and you've been catching a lot of flack. And both Chris and I had a discussion about this on the show. I don't know if you heard the segment or not, but we would rather come from the horse's mouth as to what's actually going on with that, as opposed to the rumor and hearsay and some of the bad things that have been surfacing out there. So where do you want to start with this?
Ask away. I'm ready to answer. I got that wolf shit ready.
All right, Stephen Piercy.
Before we go any further, I want to give the lineup, because that off the top was a point of contention that I do believe we fucked up on, Neely.
Yes.
So I want to give the current lineup of the show, if that's okay. And I have it in front of me. Justin sent it to me yesterday. So, Justin, if I say... if go ahead.
Well, in your defense, it's really... We announced the show in November. We started selling tickets. It was a great lineup. It sold 42 tickets. So we backpedaled a bit. We refunded the money, and we redid the show and re-announced in January, if that helps.
Sure. Now here is tell me, if this is the wrong lineup, tell me, but this is the one that I marked down as current lineup. So the Rockin Skull 17 is at the Avante Dome in Pekin, Illinois, October 27th through the 29th. On the 27th, we've got Don Dokken, Lita Ford, Jack Russell's Great White, Russ Dwarf of the Killer Dwarfs, H. Stein Nilsson of Ammunition, and Jules Millis of White Widow. Saturday the 28th, we've got Steel Panther, Warrant, Firehouse, Bullet Boys, Ted Poley, South Gang, Tango Down, Talon, and Maverick. And Sunday the 29th, we've got Ace Frehley, LA Guns, Quiet Riot, Wildside, Taiketo, Jean Bouvier. The 5th, Shane Taggart with the Great Affairs, and No Love Lost. Tickets are $39 Friday, $49 Saturday, $49 Sunday, or $120 for all 3 days. Is that all correct?
That's correct. But we do have more expensive tickets as well. That's general admission. But go ahead.
Okay. So I'll start this, and Neely, you can jump in as well. So we ended up talking about this, Justin, and you and I talked kind of at length last night.
Right.
But we talked about this on the show when Metal Sludge, when Stevie posted a story out there that bands were not being paid and that they were being cut off the show. And
hold on, Chris. I don't think that's what the article said. It said that bands I went to bands because of problems financially, and I was cutting bands. I believe that's what the story said.
And what you're saying is that is untrue.
That is not true, not at all. And I can, Stevie Rochelle, at this point, has some problems with me, and if I can say that, I think that's where it stems from. and I know where he got his information from, but we can go through steps and get it all handled, and you'll understand my side of the story if you guys want.
Okay. Feel free.
The last couple of years, Rockin Skull, well, let's start this way. This is the 5th year Rockin Skull. The first year was done in Nebraska. It was called Skull Fest. Okay. And I lost $17,000 doing that show. And you guys can jump in anytime you want with questions. And you're probably thinking, why would I ever do another show like that if I lost $17,000? Well, I have a day job that makes money, and I saw the bar that we had the show at. You ever seen the movie Casino? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know that movie Casino, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. While I lost $17,000, the bar was taking buckets of money out of the bar. I mean, they were taking buckets and buckets of money. So the bar made a ton of money. So I thought to myself, well, I just have to tweak this a little bit, and I'll be okay. So what I did was I started doing shows in Pekin, back in my hometown, at a place called Goodfellows, and they would give me perks like 20% of the bar. They would give me, they would pay for the hotel room. They would pay for backline, and in 2014, the show made money. With me so far?
Yeah, I'm with you so far. So you got a piece of the action from all angles.
Yeah, I started cutting my risk, and the show started being profitable. In 2015, I know you guys. I listened to your show. What you said about Pekin, Illinois. We did 130 people in Skull Fest, which is terrible. The capacity in 2014 was 600, and we averaged about 570 a day. We did great. The next year, we raised our prices, had a different VIP, and the capacity was 800, and we did about 790 per day. And I made so much money during that weekend that I thought it could be a full-time job. And during all this time, Stevie Rochelle, we sold these passes called sludge passes. It was a VIP pass. Am I breaking up real bad, or can you guys hear me okay?
You sound just fine, Justin. We heard every word you said.
Okay, sitting in my car, it's like silence, like talking to my ex-wife. I get scared when there's no reply. So the show did really well, and we had the P&L to prove it. And if you ask Stevie, he'll tell you that in 2015, the show did beyond well. So I got greedy, and I went to Joliet in 2016. I read what you said about Tough. Tough was paid in full, guys. March of, I think actually April 1st of 2015 for the 2016 show. Oh, hold on, my bad. They were paid that April that year. I get messed up on my years. 2016, Stevie was paid $3,000. He took $1,500 toward Tough, and he took $1,500 toward Sludge advertising. Besides that, what I owed Stevie money for was his VIP sludge passes. And when, let's say, Chris bought a VIP sludge, they were $300 or $100 or whatever they were. Rockin Skull took $50, and Stevie got $50. So that brought an additional $6,000 of revenue to Metal Sludge or Stevie. So
okay.
going into Rockin Skull, Tough or Stevie Rochelle was paid $7,500, and we owed him $1,500. That's what I paid him in February. I don't deny I owed him money, but I denied that we didn't pay him for his performance. And we all know Stevie. If I didn't pay for performance, he would have rock harvested me. He would have gone on these rants, and it didn't happen. He wouldn't have played either if he didn't get paid.
Okay.
So what happened was.
So hold on.
Go ahead,
So then why did he say that that Tough wasn't paid, or did we misconstrue that?
He never said Tough wasn't paid. He said he wasn't paid, and he wasn't. He was owed $1,500 from the $9,000 I was paid to him.
Okay. Okay,
and
go ahead.
Going up into that event, after the event, we made a deal with the venue, and when I said that we should never done the show, here's what I mean. The venue changed hands, and the new owners refused to live up to the perks that the previous bar owner agreed to, and it added up about $35,000. I had to come up with that money within 30 days. None of the bands were the problem. It was the hotel rooms. It was the back line. It was the hospitality. Are you with me so far?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, I had a relationship with Stevie. We probably paid Stevie $23,000 over the last 3 years through performance and these Metal Sludge VIP. I handled it wrong. I came out of the situation upset. I'm the one who lost money, and I'm still paying money out for these sludge passes, and I handled it wrong. It was definitely unprofessional on my behalf. I was going through a bad divorce, and I'm not trying to make excuses for myself. I'm just trying to paint a picture of where I was.
Right.
Stevie approached me about money, and we did put him off till I'd get it. I just lost $35,000, and when I finally paid him, he was starting to insult me. He called me some names I didn't find nice, so I let him have it verbally, and that's where this all stems from.
So then the stuff about whatever, South Gang or whoever it was, saying that they hadn't been paid, is that just straight false, or what is that?
Well, we can go through the lineup. I'll tell you who's been paid and not. I'm pretty honest, Chris.
Well, wasn't it South Gang that was pointed out in the Sludge article? That
well, the thing is, Stevie said that he had a source that bands were being removed. Well, the source is, and I know this because I'm behind the scenes, his source, we had a problem with one band, not about money, about positioning on a poster, where they were a slot that they didn't think they deserved to be. They thought they should be higher. Mm-hmm. Now, this particular band that was complaining has had their deposit since May of last year, and me not being as patient as I should be, he has risen. It's Easter. I wasn't forgiving. I was like, if you don't like it, go. And that's where that stemmed from. So Stevie had a problem with me for what I said to him, so he messaged South. First of all, he messaged me at 11:30 at night and said, I'm going to do a story about you. Do you have any response? And then he ran the story an hour later. I didn't get up the next day, and I saw the thing. And if you look on his page, I was mad. I said, you didn't give me time to reply. Right. And then he started calling bands, like Jesse. He called Jesse at 7 o'clock in the morning, told Jesse he wasn't on the show no more. Jesse didn't know he wasn't on the show. I didn't know he wasn't on the show. But Stevie decided to reach out to him, and then him and Jesse got into it.
So, I get. Look, I get what you're saying, and I get Stevie's position. And what I don't get is, how am I going to say this? Stevie's not one that rolls the dice legally, I guess. And if
well, Stevie hasn't done anything liable. What he did was we asked him to name his source. I know who the source is because it's the one band. So he ran that story, and it was basically saying that I'm approaching bands, asking them to bail, and it wasn't that at all. It was a band that wasn't happy with the lineup, and then when I denied it, I got on my Facebook page, and I got belligerent. He then took that into the financial realm, where I wasn't paid. I mean, if you look at it, it was very clear. It was, I'm pulling bands was the first article. The second article was South Gang. And Jesse made a post and said this is not true. He said that, he was surprised when Stevie approached him, and he didn't know he was on the show, and was off the show, excuse me. And the third post was me not paying him. It was a build-up for me not paying him is what the whole deal was. And he wasn't held liable, but go ahead.
Wouldn't those two things in themselves be the liable? I'm not talking about in the press. I'm talking about, saying to somebody that is in your employ, as we'll call it. Forget the it's a show or whatever. It's somebody you've hired, and then telling them that they're not hired and they're not you. Would that not be libelous?
It's not liable. There's damages, and we can go after Stevie for damages. But the libel comes in here. My day job is I don't Chris, you think I know you think I know what I do for a day job, what I do for my money.
Yeah.
And I've done it for 30 years. I'm a third generation Kirby guy. I own the Kirby vacuum dealership.
Sure.
And the libel part, Stevie, we sold probably 3,000 of these expensive vacuums over the 22 years I've been in business. Stevie posts that I had 7 complaints, and that's where the libel comes in. Hell, I was happy with only having 7 complaints. And, going through a divorce, I have an attorney, but, we reached out to a L.A. attorney as well. And, there's things I don't want to go into that we did, but I don't blame Stevie at all. And I blame my mouth. I said some things I shouldn't have said.
Do you, so to clear up 2016, the past thing, everybody is now paid? Is that what we're saying? Everybody is current to the current show? Is that where we're at?
No, not everyone's been paid. I borrowed $6,000 from a guy named Bob Long from Shandy's Music. He still owed money. He's okay with waiting. I borrowed basically what I had to come up with $35,000. I came up with 21 more of my own money, and I borrowed 14. So 4 spread out between 3 people. They're still owed money.
Okay, and is the theory that the money that is still outstanding is going to be made up in October, or is that like separate from Rockin Skull 17?
Well, anytime you do a business, I mean, it's definitely caught up. We're hoping that Rockin Skull 17 pays for it. But on that note, Chris, every year we were building up. We're doing about capacity, and the show was making money. For whatever reason, on my own doing, 2016 sold well, but with the venue changing the perks, there's things that happened that lost money and we lost momentum. If I had to do it again, I would never have booked a show at Avanti's Dome. I would have went to another club. And,
right.
And if any kids are listening, they want to be a promoter, don't. So.
Well, Justin, we talk about that quite often here on the show, not specifically about you, just about promotion and doing big shows and being ambitious with 2 and 3 day fests. And, we've been asked to promote various festivals over the years. And I think out of the 4 or 5 that we've been involved with, I think only one of them was successful, And we often wonder, how do you justify undertaking such what I call an ambitious undertaking of a 3-day affair? I mean, I understand putting on 1 day, but 3 days with some fairly nationally known names, that seems to me like a high financial risk. It
is. There's no doubt about it, but there's also the greed factor where if you're looking at a business's P&L, Neely, that if a business is growing, if it did $30,000 the first year, $60,000 the second year, $120,000 the third, and $160,000 in gross revenue the fourth, at that point you're thinking your business is on the upswing. And the risk you always do is, let's say, for me personally, I always base my budget off of last year's gross revenue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I get it. I mean, I understand how a pro forma works in a business. I understand that. But the thing is that just from my experience, and I know Chris can, verify this, is that entertainment in general is just risky. I mean, what worked last year may not work this year, just due to various factors, weather, the economy, location, all that kind of a stuff. That's a gamble. There's outside factors that sometimes can sink your boat, just like last year when the venue that you had chosen in Joliet changed hands. I mean, you weren't expecting that, but that just about killed you.
There's no doubt. I mean, just imagine your checking account in the black in August, and next thing you know, in September, it's overdrawn $35,000. It's quite a shock.
Yeah. Well, the only comment that I have for you, Justin, and because we followed this a little bit on the show, and we make comment about this all the time, is when it comes down to these personal issues, be it with Stevie or Bobby Blotzer with Rat or the guys from Black and Blue or whatever, don't you think it's just better to take these squabbles behind closed doors instead of putting it out in a public forum?
I do, but let me ask you a question. How do I react or state I don't care what people say about me, Neely, but how do I protect my business or my partners when it's there's an article on Sludge within Stevie's known to tell the truth that I'm asking bands to drop off, which at the time is not true.
Well,
how do I keep that out of the public?
Well, I understand, from his end, making, publishing something like that. But as far as like going tit for tat on Facebook and all these other social media sites and stuff, sometimes just, maybe a phone call needs to be made and say, hey, what's going on here? Let's work this out, rather than, hey, you said this and this guy said that and fuck you. No, fuck you. And I got a guy who told me different, and no, you don't. Who was it? I'm not going to tell you, back and forth on social media. That's a bunch of nonsense. It kind of diminishes, devalues you as a credible, business person. I think personally, Chris and I, even though it gives us something to talk about on this show, personally, I'd rather not see it or hear about it, because I just like, dudes, you guys are better than this. Take it behind closed doors.
No, I totally agree. The problem is sometimes, me personally, I'm an emotional guy. I make emotional decisions, Neely. So, when I saw that, the first thing I do is I get upset and I fire back instead of taking a step back, breathing it through. Being an adult, it's more of an immaturity thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
and I'm not. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm moving forward from this because I understand this. Probably sounds like I have a better picture of it than even Neely does at this point. I think Neely was making and I think you took it wrong, Justin. Just honestly, I think Neely was making a general statement, and you were reacting to it as this specific issue, which is what am I wrong in that, Neely?
Yeah, I'm just talking about in general, especially given the blabbermouths of the world or the metal sludges of the world, where people take their grievances out into the public forum.
Yeah, and I'll say this much in Justin's defense here. I agree with him that he couldn't just let that be out there, because that could fucking tank his whole goddamn thing.
I understand, but rather than, the tit for tat thing, it's just sometimes you just can go out there and state your case on your own website or on your own Facebook without saying, screw that guy, or, whatever, commenting back and forth. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Well, and I want to say that Stevie Rochelle did nothing wrong. He wanted to be, whatever decision I did, whatever agreement I agreed to him, bad or good or indifferent, I should have paid up, but I didn't have the money till March. I mean, I lost a shitload.
So okay, so now you said that you based this year's show on last year's performance. You got some big names on there, dude. I gotta think that this show is going to cost you an ass load just in bands.
Yeah, what do you think it costs? I'll let you know if you're in the ballpark.
I gotta think that with all the bands involved, you're at like 100 and a quarter.
A little more, yeah, but you're close, yeah.
Whew. That's a lot of hope, my friend.
That's a lot of cake.
Well, again, greed took over. I don't know what you think a lot of money is, but when a single weekend brings in a little less than 6 digits, you think at that point your whole business plan has changed. When you have bankers or business people going through your P&L and looking at your business model and thinking you're some kind of genius. You're really not.
Right.
You think that everything's going good, and then all of a sudden 2016 happens. You do the revenue, but you still lose the money. It puts in perspective of exactly what you are and who you are. You know, going to Joliet was a greed move. Going to the Vonnie Dome was a greed move. Going to a 5,000-seat venue, I should have kept with the business model of staying at an 800-seat venue with a $70,000 budget.
So is the current model now? Is the current model now that it's just go for broke?
You made me cough on that one, Chris. It's a high risk, but the nice thing is, you know, I'm trying to be. In the past, if something happened, my day job could cover it. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because of my divorce situation, it makes everything a lot more tense, a lot more tighter. You know, the good thing is, you know, a lot of the bands this year, Don Dawkins is going to be on the show later today. As of Friday, he's 100% paid in full, and that's 7 months out. So, you know, I don't like owing anybody any money. You know, that's a pride factor. So I try to pay all the bands off before they even show up for my gig. But
Right.
Is there a risk, and am I scared? Hell yeah, I am. Would you be scared if you had a $130,000, $125,000 budget above your head that you had to cover?
Dude, please. I'm scared about my $12,000 budget with the museum. Are you kidding me? Fuck yeah, I'd be scared.
Yeah, you know, and then, you know, a lot of it, like Neely said, he's very smart when he said, you know, one thing can change a lot of people's point of view about something. You know, the sludge story, we definitely lost traction. We were doing X amount a week, and we fell to about $300 to $400 a week. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So, you know, without making this so depressing that I'm going to jump off the bridge here on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, it's scary, but, you know, we'll get through it one way or another, you know, and I'll make the show go on, and all will be good. And then next year I have a different business model. Very humble.
I hear you.
Well, I'm going to make the trip down, Justin. I'm going to come down at least for one night of the show.
Gee, I can't
You
imagine
both are
which
more
night.
welcome to come every night.
I said, well, at least
You guys-
one night of the show.
Well, I'll give you tickets for all 3 nights. Hang out, watch me get blue drunk crazy, and then we'll see what happens.
Nice.
And then I'll depend about it.
Well, Justin, I wanted to ask
give
you
this
about.
up,
I wanted to ask you about something else that you brought to my attention that I have been dying since you told me this yesterday. You told me that you got the most crazy cease and desist letter from Bobby Blotzer's Rat. And
That's true, yeah.
and I am very curious why it was such a such a crazy cease and desist. And now you told me some of it, but please rehash it for Neely, what you told me, because this is classic.
Well, I just want to say to you guys, when my kids are bad, I read them the last paragraph of this letter, and they straighten right up. They get scared. So we were trying to book 2017, and we were negotiating with Rat.
Which
we were
rat?
also-
The real rat or the fake rat?
The Piercy Rat.
Okay, the real rat.
Yeah. So I also do business with Blotzer's Rat agent. When we were talking about the lineups, I told him who I wanted to get. The next thing I know, I get a letter in my email from Blotzer's attorney, who's Drew Sherman.
Right.
It's a 33-page email.
33 pages. Wow. Okay.
The first 4 pages are intimidating as shit, and the last 29 is just litigation stuff. So let me try to pull over here. I'll read you the last paragraph, and you will look at each other and say, "My God," and then it'll probably scar you for life. You might not be able to actually go to the bathroom by yourself or be in your house, I don't know what it will do to you. So, let me find this beautiful letter.
Can you imagine nearly 33 pages?
33 pages, wow.
Now that's a letter.
Yeah. You must have
That's
that.
more than a letter.
That's a manuscript.
Chapter.
Well, all I know is I went through and I was like, I'm not booking that band ever. So, all right, you hear me pulling over?
Yeah, he's got
You're
the
getting my full attention.
hitting the rumble strips.
If I get hit by a semi, I'm suing both of you, and I like to sue. I'm getting Drew Sherman to represent myself.
There you go.
Well, let me see what happens. All right.
I hear the trucks going by.
They are.
Hear the flashers on, trucks going by.
Okay, I'll read you the last paragraph, and if I break up, tell me. But wait till you hear this. This is amazing.
All right.
During the 3 pages, it's about the Warner. It's about WBS damages and what they're going to do to me if Rat performs and who the real Rat is. And then the last paragraph is, with that said, my suggestion to you is that you heed the demand to cease all actions involving the Marks and Rat to limit the monies that will be flowing outward from RNS. If you do not heed such warnings, the repercussions could be felt by you and your family for many years.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it gets better. I invite you to contact me so we can work out this agreement for damages currently owed my client and your commitment to cease any infringing activities in perpetuity. A lot of these words, I'm just a vacuum salesman. I can't pronounce half this stuff. But
in perpetuity, that means forever and a day.
No, I'm playing dumb. One last thing. This is my best part. Ready for this one?
Yep.
One last thing. If RNS, Rockin Skull, does not heed my warnings and accept my invitation to settle, in the next few months, you might think you hear the faint sounds of a train outside your window. And you might think that every day the sound seems to be growing as if it's getting closer. You're not imagining things. The train is a freight train, and it's me. And the train tracks run right through your bank account. I hope you're prepared. Please guide yourself accordingly. And then he goes on. That's it.
Wow.
So is he trying to say you've already caused damages by discussing booking the other band?
Well, he didn't know at the time the band wasn't booked, and they turned down my offer because of they're going overseas during that time.
Right.
But he was under the impression from the agency that they were already booked at my event, and I was collecting money. So I sent him an email saying, I don't have Rat booked. They're not being advertised at all. And he replied, they better not be. And that was the last time I've heard from him.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah, pal.
Wow.
So late at night, I read this to my kids, and I sit next to them in their ears. I go, cha, 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 cha. So they hear the train coming. They know it's coming.
Right. Well, I wonder how the big promoter of M3 has taken that letter.
I was telling Chris last night, I'm sure M3 and anyone else who books Piercy's Rat gets the same letter.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. And I'm sure that I'll probably find it in the outhouse as wiping paper.
They always have a new story. Now you have a freight train, you have wolf shit, and then the elevator music for Lane. So
Exactly.
every time I come on, we get something new.
Nice. All right, perfect. Well, Justin, it's been a while since you've been on the show, and I want to throw this invitation out to you again. You're welcome to come on anytime you feel the need.
I appreciate that. And in return, I want to invite you and Chris to be my guest at Rockin Skull this year. Come down. We'll set you guys up, even if it's one day or hopefully all three, and you guys can see what it's actually all about.
Well, Chris is taken into walking these days since the weathers are nice, so if he starts out tomorrow, he'll get there just in time.
Let me just tell you, the first day of Rockin Skull happens to be my birthday, so there's a good chance I might come and do that.
if we need to get a wheelchair or whatever, we'll get wheelchair races, me and you, Chris. We can race to the little alcohol stand.
I'm not quite fat enough to where I need the wheelchair yet, but I'm getting there.
All right, guys. As always, I appreciate all you guys, supporting. I heard the Stevie Rochelle thing, and, I just wanted to clear that, he was paid. He just wasn't paid for his commission.
All right, fair enough. Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
From the mouth of the promoter himself. About where are you on the turnpike there, Justin?
I think I'm getting close to Chris. I see a bunch of pinball machines lighting up in the distance.
Nice.
All right, Justin. Well, safe travels out there, and if we don't speak to you, maybe we'll see you in the fall.
Yeah, I have to get off the phone anyway. I'm pulling into the Asian Spa right off the highway of I-81. They're open to midnight, so I got to hurry up and get my massage on.
All right. Well, you're out there. You're out there near Scranton, Pennsylvania. So near Pittston and Scranton.
That's right. Very good.
Yep. I know it well.
All right, guys. Tell Don I said hi, and have a great night, guys. As always, it's a pleasure talking to you.
All right. Thanks, Justin. Hail and kill. There he goes.
There you go. Wow. Well, that was something.
All right. Well, that makes a little more sense.
Sure.
So at least we got some clarification as to what, according to Justin, is the real story here.
Yeah. Ooh, boy, what a risk, though.
Yeah, that is a risk. I mean, but we understand other promoters who have taken a risk, and I haven't heard anything negative or positive or one way or the other about the Loudon Lima show.
Yeah, I haven't heard dick about it either, so.
As far as I know, it's still going on.
I keep getting asked for tickets. I could say that.
Who's asking you for tickets?
Bunches of people that know me that are local.
And how is it that you're a ticket vendor for this thing?
Don't you know if it has, while you're Dockin's friend?
Yes.
I'm the Dockin ticket guy.
Oh, really? So everybody wants in for free?
Of course.
Free!
Because Don just runs around with tickets in his pocket, 60, 70, 80 of them at a time.
Sure.
And he's just like, hey, I can't give these away. You give them away. Isn't that how that works?
Yeah. Hey, there's a big envelope over there. It's a little full of tickets. Give them away.
Yeah, go give them away. Give them to all your buddies. Nobody pays to come see me.
Right, exactly.
Everything's free.
Right.
Yeah, I get asked, dude, you know how this goes, man. You don't have that in your world?
No, I don't associate with anybody. You know that.
That's true. No matter who the show is, I get asked, hey, man, do you happen to know anybody in Tesla? Could you maybe hook me up for Def Leppard?
It's like, why, is Ticketmaster out of tickets or what?
That's usually, you know what? I've gotten to the point now where, especially if I know what they do for a job, that's what I ask them in return. Yeah, how about you come and paint my house? You want some free tickets to Def Leppard? Sure. Go in the backyard and cut the grass. It's gotten to that point now where, when people ask me for anything free, I answer with, yeah, go do what you do. You give me what you do for free, and I'll give you what I do for free.
Sure.
How's that? Have at it, pal.
Yeah. No, I don't associate with people who want stuff from me. So, yeah. And in return, I don't want anything from them. That's why presents end up in the closet.
Yeah. Well, presents is a little different. Presents is where you're just insane.
Sure.
But but even like tickets to shows. Now, that's awful nice of Justin to offer us all 3 days and whatever. But I would feel damn awkward taking all 3 days. Wouldn't you?
I would. Absolutely.
I could go for one. I could definitely go for one. But after that, I would, even if I stayed for all 3 days, I would buy the tickets for the other two.
Right.
Because I would feel really, really, $120 is a lot.
Yeah, sure it is.
We talked about this with the Jeff Tate thing. That's why I got all pissed off about the Jeff Tate thing.
No, the Stephen Piercy thing.
Yeah, Piercy, because the promoter gave me
6 tickets.
Hundreds of dollars and VIP passes. He gave me hundreds and hundreds of dollars of shit. And I was like, oh, man, I feel really bad. And look, we made it work. We gave the tickets away, but it was like, man, oh, man, it's a lot of money to just give away that he should have been selling.
Sure, I agree.
It's his business. So, but actually with that, we're going to do something with Randy in August. So we're going to pay him back for my ticket heist.
All right. Well, fair enough.
Come August, he's actually got something really cool lining up, and I won't say it on the air because it's his announcement to make, not mine. But it's a lot of bands with people that we know and like.
Okay. So
we'll do something with that when it's officially announced.
All right. Well, you are the guy that makes that town go.
According to that promoter, yeah.
Yeah, you make the town go.
I make Cleveland go.
You
or
do.
Kent, or wherever.
Well, speaking of go, I'm going to go get a drink.
Yeah, me too.
So what do we got coming up here in 20 minutes? We got Jeff Tate, the real Jeff Tate.
Oh, that was supposed to be the same time you told Don.
At midnight your time?
Midnight Eastern.
Oh, okay.
But I'll reach out to Mr. Tate's publicist.
Okay.
See if I can't.
I didn't think it was that. I didn't think it was that late at night, but okay.
But no, we're going to just kind of clip it together however we do here.
Sure. All right. Well, since we spoke with Justin here a few minutes ago,
yes,
he's got a few CDs out there under his Liberty and Justice moniker.
Correct.
And he put out a CD called the Cigar Chronicles.
Yep.
And our friend Sheldon Tarsha, or Sean Sheldon, or
Sean Nichols.
Sean Nichols, he performed on this, didn't he?
He did.
And which one did he do? Did he do Ice Ice Baby?
Ice Ice Baby.
All right. All right. Well, let's hear Sean Sheldon. Sean Nichols doing Ice Ice Baby through the Cigar Chronicles with our good friend Justin Murr from Liberty and Justice.
All right.
And blah, blah, blah. So we're going to play a couple of tunes. We'll be right back. So here it is. This is Sheldon or Tarsha or whatever he goes by.
Sean Nichols.
There you go. Exclusively here
on your classic metal show.
Hey, fuck you, pal. This is Tarsha hanging with Neely and Chris on the Classic Metal Show.